Okay. So, example 13 asks us to solve the equation 3 times the square root of 2x plus 2 minus 2 times the square root of x plus 6 equals 0. Like in the previous example, we talked about looking at the different sides of the equation and determining the number of terms, because when we have a square root, we want to square that. We want to get rid of that somehow. But we have to know that the number of terms that we have is going to dictate the number of terms that are left over when we square it. So if we look here, this is 2 terms, and obviously we have 0 terms, or really it's 1, but it's not going to affect anything. It won't change. This number won't change. So we'll just call it 1, whatever. The 2 terms is going to become 4, and the 1 term will remain 1. So we're making this more difficult for ourselves, because what we can do is, because this is a 0, right? We can actually consider that like 0 terms, right? It's not really anything. We can move one of these over and have 1 term on each side. And then what would happen now is, instead of having 4 terms come from our square, we just get 1 on each side. So it actually makes our life a lot easier if we move over one of these. I would move the negative over, that's just me. And here we go, right? And so now when we square each side, we are going to end up with a very simple thing. So this is a really important step. You could solve this equation the other way, by squaring left and right side, but that's just going to make for way too much work. So squaring both sides. So this is a 3 multiplied by something. So the squared has to extend to it as well. And so you end up with 3 squared times the square root of 2x plus 2 squared, which ends up being 9 times 2x plus 2. And that's going to equal 2 squared, which is 4, times the square root of x plus 6 squared, which is x plus 6. And so it's that easy, okay? So really simple, but by analyzing the problem and seeing what could happen if we chose one path or the other, it was easy to see that this was the right thing to do. And so now we distribute, so 9 times 2x is 18x. 9 times 2 is 18. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 6 is positive 24. And now we want to go ahead and continue. So I'm going to move everything I'm going to move my 4x over. And so that will make 14x. I'm going to move my 18 over here, which is going to make 6. And from here, now I'm going to divide by 14 on both sides, get x equal to 6 over 14, which we can also call 3 divided by 7. So let's go back and check this out and see if that actually makes any sense or not. So if we plug in 3 over 7, we get 3 times the square root of 6 sevenths plus 2 equals 2 times the square root of 3 sevenths plus 6. Seems odd, but it looks like my answer is correct. I don't see any issues with it. So yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so the answer is 3 over 7. So just make sure that you're examining the left and right side to see if you can maybe reduce the number of terms, because when you square anything, it's going to square the number of terms, which would have made this problem a lot harder if we hadn't adjusted it right off the bat.